I'm going to walk you through Embroidery Applique on the Bernina 790. But I'm going to give you a quick little insight into our Embroidery Essentials online course. We do have a couple different kinds of embroidery applique. I'm actually going to do this butterfly right here, but it's actually been done on batting with a quilted in the hoop feature. This is another concept of embroidery, but this has been done 4 times, so it's considered a tile scene. Even cut work, one of our techniques we do, this is layering multiple layers of fabric and then kind of removing part of the colors in its own applique technique. Here's another one of those butterflies we have. You actually do 2 of them because you have to figure out on your machine where to mirror image that design. This one's actually shadow work where we actually have fabric that is trimmed away under a sheer or opaque type fabric that's put on top of it. And then we've even used applique where we put in fun confetti options. So these are just a couple of the techniques. We have a total of 15 different embroidery techniques that we do within this course. Trapunto and landscape and flip and stitch. So if you've never done any of those, definitely take a look within our Embroidery Essentials online course of how to get started. And this is going to get you going on this machine. You're going to do things over and over and over, and you're going to master this machine in the fastest way possible. So I already have the designs on my USB stick, and I'm looking for the designs that are for our applique. There's the one that we're looking for. So we'll bring that into the machine. I already have my oval hoop selected. I'm going to just let it stitch out in the middle, so I'm going to touch the needle and thread to go to our first design. Now before we get to applique, I have a couple fun steps that we do to create these quilt blocks because we're quilting them in the hoop. So the first step of a quilt block is the location of where I need to put my batting. So after it finishes stitching out this placement area, then it's going to stop and I'm going to take a piece of batting and lay it over that area. This has been cut, so if you just slide your finger underneath it, lay the piece of batting that's big enough for that square over the top of it, and then just go ahead and stitch. Now, after it stitches this second square, notice it doesn't matter really what color of thread I'm using at this point, is that I'm going to trim the batting down to the stitching line. So this is considered applique, where you put a piece of fabric, in this case, a batting, where it is going to tack it down and then stop, and then we're going to actually trim it out. Next, you're going to take the hoop off the machine, which doesn't matter at all, and then take some curved embroidery scissors, some applique scissors, something that will allow you to get nice and close to that stitching line, and go ahead and trim all the way around the square. Once the batting has been trimmed, lay the piece of fabric that will cover up that entire area. And I can see I've got a little kind of selvage edge, so I'm going to give myself a little bit of extra room off to one side. So anything that's oversized is perfect for this type of stitching. So what it's going to do is going to stitch all the way around, placing our fabric over our batting, and then it's going to do the quilting next, and then I'll get to the applique in butterfly. Applique always takes 3 steps. 1, a placement of where you're going to put the fabric, and it gives you an idea how much fabric you need, so if you're using scraps. But we're going to cover this whole butterfly area up with the fabric we want. So we can kind of come in and position it just right. I'm going to really just lay that over that whole entire area. Most of the time I just lay it down and then push the start button, and then just make sure that it kind of doesn't go anywhere. But most of the time it kind of sticks itself to the fabric that's already down, and it's going to stitch another of the same shape as what you just had before. But this time it will do it instead of just one time around, it'll actually do it twice around. After this, we're going to do just the same we did with the batting. So we're going to use our curved embroidery scissors and trim really close. Again, I'd take the hoop off the machine so you can kind of work your hands around as you get nice and close. The key is getting as close as possible. Notice I'm kind of lifting the fabric up and then using my scissors to kind of push down as I go all the way around the shape of the design. The key to applique is getting really close with your trimming. So if you have not perfected your cutting around the edge, or if you're struggling because maybe your scissors aren't sharp enough, that's a key to find some different scissors that will help you get into those small areas and quickly go around all your designs. So I'm going to just go ahead and start it. The next color here is going to go around all the areas and cover them. So if you have trimmed close enough, the satin stitch will make sure that you don't have any little threads poking through. So this design is going to start with some of the middle detail, and then it will cover up all the edges and pretty much stitch. Oh, it does have a body that we could do with a different color all the way through to the end. You can really see the beauty of applique because it doesn't take so long to stitch. You're using the fabric to be the filling in. And when you want to change up the color, all you have to do is change the fabric choice. Now, we also are seeing the fun quilting that is in the background. So you can see where it's all been stippled for you. So this block is ready to be used in any of our upcoming Embroidery Essentials course. This block is ready to be stitched into a future Embroidery Essentials quilt. So check out the links below this YouTube video where you can join in all the fun and master your Bernina 790 embroidery machine.